Morning. We will call the January 29th DRC meeting to order, and we will start with roll call. But before that, I just want to remind everybody that the meeting is being live streamed. If you're an applicant or a staff member, please come up to the microphone so we can get your comments on the record. Community development is present. Police.
Mike McKinley.
Public services.
Diana Almodovar.
Thank you. Fire.
Jeremy Holderfield.
And building.
John Hansen's here.
And before we get started, I'd like to introduce our new city engineer, who's our public works representative, Ms. Diana Almodovar, and also our staff engineer, Dahu, who is joining us as well. And so we've some new faces, and so we welcome you and look forward to working with you. So we got two projects on the agenda this morning, two major development plans. The first one is Ondich South, and Gene Sanchez is the project manager.
Good morning, everybody. So the first item is on Ditch South. This is a major development plan, and the proposal is to have 326 rear-loaded townhomes and detached single-family residences on 54.85 acres. It's located on the southwest corner of Ondich and Evie Drive. If you recall, this is within our Kelly Park Interchange form-based code under transition and neighborhood overlay districts. I did have just really some housekeeping comments. I know Diana and just joined us, so I did note on there that comments are forthcoming on that end. And I had a couple of notes from police as well as auto turn related comment from fire. So with that, if the applicant has any questions or concerns about the comments, I'm happy to try to respond.
All right, the applicant is in attendance. Do you have any questions or comments for the DRC?
Just one comment. There's a planning comment. I was talking about the trail. Wanted to go from 8 foot to 10 feet. So I just want to kind of clarify, is that the trail around the pond or the trail going north-south?
North-south.
Okay, because the one going east-west through the development is 10 feet. It connects to Crossroads, which has a 10 foot and goes all the way to Effie. But the north-south one we had is 8 foot. You want that changed to 10. Okay. And then the auto tone, we corrected already, Jeremy. It was we had it 47.1 feet and it's 47.65. So we changed it in the system, reran it, and it still everything works still. But you're right, we were half a foot off. We were short. Bumper. Bumpers matter. Yeah, bumpers matter.
Bumpers could wipe out a whole car.
So we were at it. No, everything still works on Argent. So
I have one more request that I'm going to ask, and it's a little bit early out for now, but prior to you guys getting approval of your site, when I get my hydrants and my cleared and all that stuff, I'm going to need GPS coordinates for each hydrant. What I'm going to request.
GPS for each hydrant. That should be really easy for the surveyors. They normally give us shape files or GPS
and make sure they're sent
really fast.
Make sure they're sent to me so I can have those on record, which is going to help us out.
You can also get them from. We submit CAD drawings to the city with all the utilities, so you can also get them from the as-built. But we can do it anyway. That's a very easy request.
To me also, just to make it so I have my records of them also.
Yeah, that's no problem at all.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So will that be at I guess at closeout certificate of acceptance kind of thing, or
it should be? I mean, I guess that's fine. That would work.
Or water clearance.
When they do water clearance, I prefer.
Okay, we can do it at water clearance. Yeah, that's easy.
All right, thank you.
Any additional questions or comments?
I have a quick comment.
You know my comments, and you're going to take care of them.
The lighting in the back, I think it's already included in the. This is the MDP. It was included.
I do not know how to read a lighting
plan.
So
it was one of the requirements
that all alleyways are going to have street lighting.
Correct.
And all homes are going to face a named street.
Yes, every home in here is rear loaded. They all face a named street and have an alley, and then in the development standards we put in there the lighting requirement when we brought this through for development
on the street, not your building lighting.
You said you said lighting the thing, which I still disagree with because I think it causes issues, but we are going to do it.
The lighting in Winding Meadows can be turned off. That's not street lighting, and it's not safe. It's a public safety issue.
Okay.
That the lights be on all the time, just like in every other residential neighborhood it should be. We can't have dark alleys where there could be potential for crime to occur. Auto burglaries, robberies, and so forth.
I double checked, by the way. Winding Meadows Phase 2 and 3 didn't have that requirement. So I don't know if that. I think that's when it was caught, and we included it on these next ones, which is on Ditch South.
Yeah, and like
As
we
well as-
discussed, that might have been the last
I
one
think
that
so. I think Winding Meadows
that
is the last one that made it through
came
one
through, but
and two. Right.
you know, they are above the garage door,
Yeah.
and they're at the mercy of the homeowner who's paying the electric bill, and therefore they're going to turn them off.
We're talking
And
to
then I have no street lighting in the alleyways.
okay. We're talking to Duke right now on this project, and we're trying to figure out a way to get an arm instead of having just a pole with the light directly attached to it, like have an extension arm that sticks out about 6 feet at least to push the pole back further from the alley as much as we can. I feel like that'll really help get emergency vehicles, specifically fire trucks, through alleys if they have to, and solid waste pickup and stuff like that. So that's what we're trying to work on right now.
And that's fine. Yeah, as I've
Okay.
always said, you're much smarter on this issue than I am. I just
I don't
need
know about
lighting back there so that our community remains safe.
Okay, that's what we're working on.
Quick question.
Yes, Diana, sorry.
You have, you're showing a connection to Crossroad at Kelly Park. And is that a development that is, in what phase is that development? Because,
It's under construction. I think it's a 4-phase development. Staff could correct me. It's multiple phases, but we're connecting. There's 2 connections. Oh, okay. It's multi-phase development. There's 2 connections on the west side.
okay.
Your
I don't know.
plans never load on this screen, Luke.
Okay.
My
That's good.
concern is,
Yeah, that's it. So directly to the west and then southwest, there's 2 connections to, and these 2 connections are to their phase 1A is the one to the west and 1B to the south. So those are under construction. I think the roads are almost done.
okay, so coordination for that connection,
Mm-hmm.
of course, elevations, and because in the past I have had the experience where
Yeah.
this road is constructed, and when the new road comes in, there's no
Elevation differential.
the base the datum is incorrect,
Yeah.
or there's a bust. So
We took their
these-
design and we
you do-
designed off that.
okay,
And then we got their as-built about 2 weeks ago, and their as-built are within a 10th. They're
Okay.
right there. So we are we've coordinated with them both with the elevations for roadway connection as well as utilities. We're tying into their water and reclaim to loop the whole system up to Onditch to Effie, and they go up to Onditch and down to Kelly Park. So I believe we've coordinated all that for both
Okay.
for DOT and for utilities and for the roadway. Based on their as-built, we should be right in line on elevation wise.
okay, and your intersections at Effie and on this both show turn lanes and right turn and left turn lanes. So I want to
Correct.
make sure that's on record. that
We're
you will
submitting
be
those to Orange
providing-
County. There was some confusion originally when we asked Pam. She was under the impression that Onditch was county and Effie was city, but we talked to the county, and the county believes both roads are theirs. So we're preparing plans right now to submit for these turn lanes to the county. We do currently show a right and left turn lane. That's what the TIA shows.
So you're going to have
But
to
they are
get
county roads. I just want to, if they push back on something, I don't know why they would push back. I don't see why they'd mind a right and left turn, but I have had the county push back different times before and not one. Right turns typically, left turns they almost always want, but right turns sometimes they push back on.
Okay.
So I don't want to
Just-
guarantee
I
them,
just
but
want to make sure you have sufficient right of way on Effie to accommodate, and Ondish seems to have ample right of way, but
yeah.
Effie seems kind of narrow.
Effie, the
I-
track A is we have 2 tracks that are right away,
Right.
20-foot right away dedications on Effie. We're on the west side of Effie.
I see that.
So we're doing the 20-foot right-of-way dedication. We're staying out of that mostly. The only thing we're really putting in that dedication is a sidewalk, so it's actually setting it up for future expansion as well.
Ah.
So most of our improvements are actually in the existing right-of-way, but we are planning for long-term and providing our share of the right-of-way dedication.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Any further questions for the applicant? All right. Community development has nothing further other than the comments that were generated. Police,
I don't have anything else. Thank you.
public services.
More comments.
All right. Fire
No more comments, thank you.
and building.
I don't have anything.
All
Thanks.
Thanks,
right.
Sean.
Thank you, Luke. I believe you're the applicant for the next project, which is Wolf Lake Ranch Phase 2. Gene Sanchez is the project manager.
So Wolf Lake Ranch Phase 2 obviously is a continuation of the first phase. It's also located in that area. It's north of Poncan and east of Poncan Pines Road. It's a combination of three parcels, almost 30 acres in size. I did have some similar comments with the previous project. However, I particularly wanted a demonstration also that the density doesn't exceed 2 dwelling units per acre. Right now, I think the acreage, and it might be the developable area also, is 29.94. They are proposing 60 lots. So the yield is obviously less than 60 if we go that route. But I thought there was some sort of discussion with the previous phase having added additional acreage to this one. I just wanted some clarification so we have it on record. Other than that, I don't think I received any other comments from the DRC members.
All right. Applicant is here in attendance. Any questions or comments for the DRC, Luke?
Sure. Just to answer that question about the density, so we're combining the phase 2 with the phase 1, and we're taking out one of the lots on the south on the phase 1, and so we're getting that lot back, but we're still under the 2 dwelling units per acre for the combined acreage. So if we combine, so we can provide a better breakdown. I think we can do a better job of showing that as a total. Right now we have the site data phase 1 and site data phase 2. I think what's easier is we'll provide a density breakdown for overall site phase 1 and 2 combined, and that'll show we're under the 2 dwelling units per acre. I think that's probably what's causing confusion.
Any questions? Oh, I'm sorry.
Is that the
No.
way the city allows it? It's not up to the developer to decide to combine phases 1 and 2 to make their density. Is that acceptable to the city? Is that, I mean, outside of my scope of understanding on this, but do we allow them to combine phases to meet their density requirement, because density is going to be an issue in that area in the future because of Poncan Road and all the curves? Does not have the infrastructure for some of the proposed projects that are coming along there. And if we allow them to have a higher density than is proposed for Poncan Road, we're going to have to allow other people.
Right.
So I'd like the city's position on this.
Yeah. Comp plan says anything north of 2 units per, or anything north of Poncan Road can exceed 2 units an acre.
That didn't answer my question.
What was your question, Chief?
I think, in a nutshell, I think combining two parcels. I mean, it's in the same subdivision. I know it's Say the first one was at 3.1 per. Combining both of them, if they're under the 2, should be good, right?
Yeah, we've done that
That's-
before.
that's my
Yes.
question.
Mhm. Yeah.
Is the city's policy that if they can they combine different
Yes.
phases to meet their
Yes.
things? And if that's the city's practice, then I'm fine with that. I
We've
just
done that. Yeah.
I didn't know what it was.
We've done that many times in the past. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And we'll be replatting to combine it as well, so it'll be replatted as a single by taking some of the property on the north side of phase 1. And in addition, phase 1 had a lot that now the roadway connects through, so you basically lost a lot in phase 1, and that's why we gained a lot back in phase 2. But overall, we're still in 2 dwelling units per acre, and when the replat comes in, it'll show all that.
That's fine. And it's nothing against your development.
No,
It's just a look into the future and what is proposed in that area coming down the road. I don't want to change our density in one area that might allow somebody to come in here and make an argument that we allowed it at Wolf Branch. Now
Exactly.
they are entitled to that.
And we don't want to either. It'll break state regulations and comp plan rules. And I'm a rule follower, so I like easy rules. 2 dwelling units per acre is really simple. So
That's why we get along so well.
I like rules.
So am I.
For the amenities for planning, you had a question about how to amenitize the pond. So right now they're working with their landscape architects and planners. They actually have some cool stuff because they're going to combine the 2 neighborhoods together under one HOA. Phase 1, if you recall, has a playground, but it's also a parkour course. It's kind of neat, actually. If you've never been out there, it's a parkour playground made for, which reminds me of the show The Office and how they jumped around doing stuff, yelling parkour. But they have that. They have a sitting area. Here on the north side, they're looking to do an outdoor movie theater for the residents, where they actually have a station where you have a screen that comes up, and they have an outdoor movie theater, and then they have an outdoor kitchen area. And those are the two things that are currently contemplated because the playground's already on the south side and would be incorporated as one community. So they're playing with different options right now, but it will be amenitized. They just don't have all the details right now, but we're fine committing to amenitizing it at CSP.
Open to the public,
No, this is a private gated subdivision.
the movie theater.
Oh,
I'm just
I
joking.
was like, no, I don't think so. I think it'd just be the community. Yeah, they were talking about doing twice a month, having a movie night for the HOA, I guess. So I think it'd be a cool thing for the community. So
Any other questions for the applicant?
It's the same builder for both phases, correct? Okay.
MI Homes.
I'll get with you on something on.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, it's a My Homes project, correct?
Mhm.
Yes, okay. All right. Community development has nothing further. Police.
I don't have anything. Thank you.
All right. Public services.
Is that stub out to the south encroaching on property that is not owned by MI Homes? Or
No, it connects down to the private roadway that's within phase one. I have an exhibit. It's probably easier to see than that.
are you,
Here's phase one. It's light gray. We're taking out that lot and connecting.
oh, that's the connection, that's the connecting,
So currently there's a
Okay.
gated entrance here. This is the emergency access.
okay.
That's what we're going to discuss. I mean, we can talk about that now too.
Sure. And we're making a second emergency third access point.
Okay.
That was my point on that emergency access from phase one. I mean, now that you guys have given us a second access point and the way that was designed previous to me,
Mhm.
allowing that emergency access through grass area that I basically said we don't
No
need.
more. Right.
What's with the gate on Pond Can being a crash gate? I give full permission for them to completely get rid of and close if they
Once
would
this
like,
is
or-
functional, close that up.
yeah, just close it so it's just a
Sure.
part of their neighborhood. I'm sure they'd prefer that.
I think they're fine with that
I mean, that would be
So
fine.
take
Whatever.
down-
So
because there's signs every like 25 feet or something like
yeah,
that. If
we
I
don't need
remember.
any of that stuff. We
Take
can
the
just
signs and
remove
take the
the
crash
whole-
gate?
Yeah, and
Okay.
I hated that it had to be put in initially, but phase two wasn't on the plans at the time.
At the time,
And
right?
then I wasn't the fire marshal at the time either, so
Yeah.
I would just prefer not to give anybody the options or ideas. I
Okay.
think that's a good idea to go drive a car up through there like a random person or something. So
Just
And I
take
know
that
you want
gate and
pay-
move it to the new one.
The what?
Just take that gate and move it to the new one.
Move it to
Save
the
money.
well. They're still toying around with the option of having that new one be emergency versus residential only. Like you'll have access to it either way, but it's whether they're designing it for residential for future development.
Just trying to save money.
And then they'll pave. I know we talked previously, Jeremy. They'll pave from the current extent of Pumpkin Summit Road. No, what's it? Pumpkin Pines Road. From the extent of where it's paved up to the entrance right now, they'll pave to the north to this proposed second
Entrance.
emergency access. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything further? All right. Community development. Police had nothing further. Public services. I think you got your questions answered.
Yes, I did see also that you have an ingress egress easement on the northwest corner for Pumpkin Pine Road residents.
Yeah.
Does that is that sufficient to allow for the continuous access of these property owners to
It's a
their
little unique.
properties, or
So that's
only
just
that
for the
corner
five.
clip?
Well, there's 5 houses. There's a gate. If you go to Pumpkin Pines Road, go further
Okay.
from the gated entrance for
Mhm.
this phase 1 subdivision. Keep going north. There's a private gate. It's a small private gate, and that access is for. There's 5 houses in that little carve out on the northwest kind of square that's missing from our phase 2. There's 5 residences share that gate, and they have a small access easement. It's like it just clips the northwest corner of
Okay.
the property, and we're just leaving it as is. We're not touching it, but it's not public access. It's a
And that ingress egress is planned to be granted to the public by plat?
no. That's just that's to remain for those 5
is-
houses because it's
Yeah,
beyond
but
the
is
gate.
it going to be a separate instrument, or is it going to be part of the plat? for
I
this subdivision, this phase is what I'm saying.
I think that easement will just stay as it is. It's a private easement, and that'll just stay. It'll be shown on the plat, but it's current easement that's
Okay,
in
so
place.
you're gonna show it on the plan
It's an existing easement that's
as
in
an
place.
existing easement.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's post. It's after their gate, but it does. It's one of the driveways to one of the residences to that northwest corner.
Okay.
So.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Fire, anything additional?
No other comments. Thank you.
Building.
I don't have anything. Thanks.
All right. That was the second final item on the agenda. Any items for discussion? All right, we're adjourned.